Hey guys, we're doing another movie review today, and we're reviewing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Such a good film.
Which is a really great movie. One that's filled with tension and thought-provoking scenarios.
Yeah, it's definitely a thinker's film.
It's a thinker's movie.
If you enjoy watching a good film with brilliant CGI and great effects and, a really good storyline, then it's for you. And if you go and you really enjoy, the thinking experience of the cinema, like, you enjoy your Mementos and your, to a lesser extent, what's that film called again? Inception.
Yeah,
those kind of films.
Yeah.
It's got that very much that thinker's element of what's going on, what's going to happen. It's just a really, really good film.
Yeah, it really does cover all bases.
Yeah.
I mean, first thing to say is that they do an excellent job of the CGI and making the apes look realistic and whatnot.
So good. You honestly wouldn't know they weren't real apes.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You would genuinely think they'd just trained these apes to be amazing. It's so good.
And of course, it's Andy Serkis, who was Gollum from Lord of the Rings, so you know it's going to be great. He does another fantastic job of. I mean, he plays the main ape, Caesar, who is essentially the leader of the new ape colony.
Apes.
I don't know how many of you guys have seen the first movie. Definitely worth watching the first movie.
You need to watch the first one, because otherwise the second one, although it's a brilliant film and you'll still enjoy it, it would be nice to have the context of why it's taking place, etc.
It skims over what's preceded, but not really, no. and you're much better off understanding the context of Caesar himself.
So you're gonna want to watch it. I mean, if you if you're going to enjoy the second film, you'll be disappointed that you didn't watch the first one first.
The first one's called Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This one's called Dawn, and yeah, it's part of an absolutely massive franchise.
Oh, huge, yeah.
And I think it's essentially it's supposed to be a prequel to the originals.
Yes.
Because we'll quickly talk about the original movies. In the first movie, Charlton Heston flies in a spaceship, finds himself on a planet that's ruled by apes, and essentially he then finds out that this planet is in fact Earth, and he's travelled into the future. This movie essentially documents how apes ruled the planet over humans, how that change occurred.
Whereas this film takes more of the aspect of, okay, right, so neither is in control. The apes and the humans coexist, not together, they coexist independently. And it's about how they sort of interact with each other and what they both want, essentially. Yeah. And basically it's a film that tries to emphasize the flaws of man and to say that it doesn't matter how well intentioned you are, there will always be humans / apes, because they're supposed to be sort of, very similar to the humans, that will always be, deconstructive and won't want the best
They'll
for
always
themselves.
Be an asshole.
Yeah, they will always be the asshole. They won't want the best for themselves. They won't want the best for anyone. And quite happy. They're more than happy to watch the world burn.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Very Batman-esque. So yeah, I mean, it's really good. It's very thought-provoking. If you don't enjoy thought-provoking films, it's still a good film in and of itself. You don't really have to concentrate. You'll still enjoy it. It just appeals to most people, I would think. I don't see who wouldn't enjoy it as a film.
It's very tense.
Very tense.
I think
the music's brilliant.
The music's great.
It's so well controlled. It makes you. It does control your own emotions really well.
It's very much, for me, it struck me as almost a will they, won't they sort of war story, war/love story, because you have a colony of apes, and you could call them a colony of humans as well, who are the survivors in this sort of post-apocalyptic world. And they're at a knife edge, really, of, going to war with each other.
And it's this brilliant juxtaposition of the apes becoming more than what you would consider an ape to be, and the humans slipping back into a very primitive form, to the point where both, really, apart from the fact that the apes are more hairy, basically the apes are just... They're humans. I mean, they're essentially exactly the same as the humans. They want the same things, basically. They react in the same ways. They can talk. I mean, basically, they become an equal footing.
Yeah, and it's very good. In that regard, it keeps you very interested.
And it's also the other thing of, you're rooting for the humans, but you're also rooting for the apes, and you're sort of sitting there going, you hate... It's very confusing. It keeps you on your toes.
And at the same time, there's some really great characters that they've created.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the main bad guy, who is... Koba, who was in the previous new one.
Yeah.
Well, he's a very complicated character because he's not a straightforward baddie. He's been created, he's been turned into a bad character because of what the humans have done to him. So at one level, he's ruining it for everyone, but you can't help but feel sorry for him.
Yeah. He's not doing it because he's just malicious and spiteful. He's just basically not as intelligent as Caesar, and he's not as informed. And he doesn't really know how to deal with humans.
Yeah, and essentially, the humans have made him what he is because he was being experimented on for, I think cures for Alzheimer's and all sorts of things. So he has good reason to hate the humans. It's not entirely his fault.
He doesn't think the humans can change. Whereas Caesar's seen a completely different kind of human.
But at the same time, Caesar, whilst being sort of the leading light in the apes and the good guy on the ape side, he's also, a relatively complicated character because he hates and mistrusts the humans to begin with. It takes him a long time to warm up, and he only eventually comes round. So there's a really great development on his end because he's really not that pure to begin with.
No, I mean, yeah, they've all got reasons to not trust the humans. They've all been mistreated, and they all know what they're capable of.
And on the other side, the humans have got reasons to mistrust the apes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tension in the movie.
It's a circle of miscommunication.
It really is. It's there's so much miscommunication, and this is where the message of the movie really comes in.
Yeah.
In the sense that, in my view, it has a real pacifist, anti-war message to it. In that you have two sides that fear each other a lot for no real good reason. You get the impression the film's essentially just saying that, well, if these two groups talked it out.
Everyone fears the unknown, effectively.
Everyone fears the unknown, and if we dealt with things more calmly and more rationally,
and we talked it out, then we would avoid problems.
That's always...
It's basically trying to say that their first instinct is to go to war with each other because they're frightened of each other.
Exactly.
They're worried that the other will strike first, so they think, well, we'll have to take the initiative. And essentially, obviously, if two people do that, then it's not going to work out, is it?
Essentially, it's just saying, everyone just calm the fuck down. Yeah. So the time has come to give this movie a score.
And so obviously the last one we did was a comedy, and so it's going to be in a completely different section to that one. Yeah. You can't compare the two.
This falls under the category of, thriller?
Yeah.
Kind of, classic action thriller with, thinking elements to it. But it comes in the thriller category. And I was thinking, a solid 9.
Yeah, it genuinely was that good. A solid 9 is definitely not an unfair score.
It's not
very high 8 to a solid 9, certainly.
It's not quite a masterpiece, but... It gave us that all-round experience that was...
You felt great having left it. Yeah, it was really good.
Fucking fantastic. Yep. So, solid 9.
Go watch it.
And we'll see you guys later.